Coming up on Look Today, well, the presidential New York primary results are in for the Tri-North counties, and I've got some interesting details. And the CWA are still on strike against Verizon. More on that coming up. And the DEC celebrates Earth Day with an opening of a new wildlife viewing platform in Fort Edward. I've got those details. And it's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome, everyone. I'm Jay Hood Jackson, and this is Look Today. Well, in tonight's program, I sit down with Alan Richer. He's here to talk about the Saratoga Lake Association. And I also sit down with Lisa Sue Whititz. Now, she's an author, and she's here to talk about drug and alcohol addiction and how it affects the family. Plus, we have your weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, we've got these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, Hillary Clinton won the New York State Democratic primary, and Donald Trump won the Republican primary. Now, in Warren County, Bernie Sanders received 61% of the Democratic vote. In Washington County, he received a little over 2,000 votes to a little over 1,000 votes for Hillary Clinton. Now, overall, the Democratic primary results in the Tri-North counties showed that Bernie Sanders was favored over Clinton, even defeating her in Saratoga County with a little over 4,000 votes to Clinton's 3,300 votes. And on the other side, Donald Trump led a significant lead over the other Republican candidates across the board. He got more votes in Warren, Washington, and Saratoga counties than anyone. I guess if it's Donald and Hillary, maybe it's Don Hill from here? They liked it. In other news, the Communication Workers of America are still on strike against Verizon. Verizon workers walked off their job last week to protest outsourcing jobs to low-wage contractors and to countries like Mexico and the Philippines. This, as well as transferring workers away from their families for up to 4 months at a time. Well, the strike is taking place all along the East Coast and is having a huge impact on communities in the upstate region. Now, we were in Glens Falls again today, where the CWA members were walking the picket line, and we spoke to Verizon worker Denise Cummings about the strike.
I mean, I would love to see the jobs stay here forever because they are jobs that are on-the-job training. So the kids out there that have, that are going to school and aren't college-bound, it would be a good job for them. And the phone company was always a good place to work, but unfortunately, with the outsourcing, it's not looking good.
A lot of issues there. Okay, switching from news to weather. Well, today's temperatures were in the low 50s. Beautiful day. Let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, we're going to head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Well, back to the news. Well, the mixed-use development project in Glens Falls continues to undergo major construction. Bonaccio Construction of Saratoga Springs has teamed up with the Gillespie Group of Rotterdam to build a complex at the intersection of Hudson Avenue and School Street. Now, check this out, the 5-story building will have retail and commercial offices as well as apartments on the upper floors. In total, there will be 87 apartments. Now, the construction is expected to be completed by March of 2017, and we're going to have Sonny on as a guest in the near future to talk about this project. In other news, well, officials from the Department of Environmental Conservation, Friends of the Washington County Grasslands IBA, and state and local elected officials celebrated Earth Day with the opening of the wildlife viewing platform in Fort Edward. Well, DEC Regional Director Robert Stegman, Senator Betty Little, and Assemblywoman Carrie Werner met to celebrate the opening of the platform to the public. Now, the Washington County Grasslands is a 13,000-acre expanse of fields and meadows dotted with small woodlands, ponds, and working farms. Now, we caught up with DEC Regional Director Bob Stegman.
We're celebrating and acknowledging a a partnership and habitat protection effort in the region for critical bird habitat here.
Up next, I sit down with Alan Richer. He's here to talk about the Saratoga Lake Association. Plus, I also sit down with Lisa Sue Weiditz. She's an author, and we talk about drug and alcohol addiction and how it affects the family. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. Well, tonight's lookout is simple. It goes to the voters. I mean, it's no secret that the electorate is fired up. The establishment is not coming through, and they either want changes with the establishment or with somebody new. And it was evident in the primary voting. Our information tells us that better than 30% of the eligible voters did vote. And mind you, we have a closed primary system in New York State. That means a lot of people came out, and they did that to get their voices heard. So, outside of my Don Hill reference, which the guys in control room seem to like pretty much, we just really want to give you the lookout tonight and make sure that you vote in the general election. Tonight on Look TV, it's a Saratoga City Council meeting. And don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.